It is officially that time. Today is draft day. Welcome to the 2022 NFL draft coverage here on Press Play Action. I'm Mitchell Lee. As you can see here, major New York Jets fan, which means the NFL draft is just kind of the day of hope. It's the day where any team that is not particularly doing well can look to the heavens, maybe see some hope ahead. I took some inspiration from the 2014, not necessarily a classic in anybody's book, but the 2014 film Draft Day. I've got Kayvon Thibodeaux, no matter what. That's what I want for the New York Jets. I'm going to go through before we get to the picks, because we got about 19 minutes and 40 seconds until the draft is open for business. Roger Goodell is going to come on. He's going to get booed by everybody, all that good stuff. And then the first pick is going to come. Is it going to be Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson? Maybe the Jaguars surprise us all. They go offensive line with either Ike Ekwonu or Evan Neal. But before all of that, I would like to take a look at the players, the contestants here, the people that we are going to remember this draft for. And of course, with every draft, there's going to be the diamonds in the rough, like the movie Aladdin. The diamonds in the rough, the people that nobody's really looking at today from maybe smaller schools that step up to play big roles on championship teams, or they're on, teams that win 5 or 6, 7 games, but they just completely ball and they earn big roles. Those type of guys, not necessarily where we're getting to right now. We're going to the guys that I expect to be taken in the first 2 days of the 2022 NFL Draft. Let's get started with the quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett out of Pitt is the first one we're going to get to. He's my QB number 4 on this board. As you're going to see, I'm going to have the quarterback ranking, or the ranking of the player, and the overall ranking on my big board. Kenny Pickett is lower than I had Mac Jones last year. QB 4, 54 on my big board, and ultimately I think he's going to be going number 20 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would not recommend that be the pick. I think he reminds me a lot of Mac Jones last year. I actually had Mac Jones a little bit higher than I do Pickett right now, but I'll tell you this. Kenny Pickett might be more NFL ready day one than some of these other guys, but I just don't think he has a very high ceiling. I think that his potential is very limited, and that's not somebody I want to take in the first round personally. I want to take somebody with a little bit more potential, maybe somebody like a Malik Willis out of Liberty. QB number 5 on my board. He is number 61 on my big board, so he is lower than Kenny Pickett because I think he's a developmental guy for me. He is somebody that I look at and I say, wow, he has a big arm. And, I've heard some people say, oh, he's a running back. Stop. He's not a running back, okay? Stop. We all know why you're saying he's a running back. He's not a running back, but he's also not somebody I would necessarily pick to be a franchise quarterback. He has the big arm. He ran a very limited offense at Liberty, and I'd love to see what he could do in a situation where he does not have to play right away. Unfortunately, I think he's going to Carolina, and behind that offensive line, good luck to you, Mr. Willis. Next up, Matt Corral out of Ole Miss. QB2 on my board, 30 on my big board. So I do have a first-round grade on Matt Corral, and I think Matt Corral is going to go first round, late first round, to the Detroit Lions. Hopefully they sit him behind Jared Goff. He doesn't have to do too much first season. Let Jared Goff play, and then they get out of that contract, and they turn the keys over to Matt Corral in year 2. I think they ran a very RPO-heavy offense in Ole Miss, and I think that's causing a lot of people to under-evaluate him. But this guy has a big arm, and I think he's one of the more accurate throwers in this class. Desmond Rider out of Cincinnati is the next guy. QB3, number 42 on my big board. Every time I watch him, I like him more. He reminds me of Dak Prescott in a lot of ways, and I think he has a better arm than people are giving him credit for. I could see him, I think he's going to go round 2 to Seattle. I'm very curious to see if somebody takes him at the end of round 1. Maybe Seattle moves up at the end of that first round and they take Desmond Rider. But my favorite quarterback in this whole class, that's Sam Howell out of North Carolina. QB1, and I have him 10th on my big board. That's right, I have him below Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance from last year, but a little bit above Zach Wilson. So Sam Howell, everybody says that Baker Mayfield is the comp here. I disagree entirely. I think it's Justin Herbert. I think he reminds me a lot of Justin Herbert in how big and physical he is and can run, but also in his arm strength. I really think his arm strength is crucially underrated, and I think Howell's going round 2 to Atlanta in one of the steals of the draft. I can't wait to see what happens with Sam Howell. I think he has the most potential out of anybody in this class at quarterback. Let's move over to running back now. Breece Hall, Iowa State, number 1 running back on my board, 23 on the big board. I have him going to the Houston Texans in round number 2. He's a mix of Matt Forte and Le'Veon Bell. He has such good ability to run after the catch, but he's a better runner than he gets credit for as well. Number 2, Michigan State's Kenneth Walker III. Number 2 running back on my board, I have him going round 2, Arizona Cardinals. Little 1-2 combo there with him and James Conner. That would be absolutely electric. Next up, it's James Cook out of Georgia. I have him lower. RB11, 133. Again, I'm talking about the guys that I think are going to go in the first 2 days. I think everybody's betting on this guy being the next Alvin Kamara, and I don't necessarily see it, but I have him going to Buffalo. And that would be a really interesting thing right there because I think they could use him more in the passing game than any running back that they have in that backfield. Next up, Brian Robinson Jr. out of Alabama. My RB4, I have him headed to the Kansas City Chiefs. You want to talk about a 1-2 combo, him and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think Robinson could even overtake Edwards-Helaire for the starting job by the end of the rookie season. Next, Isaiah Spiller, RB10. I do have him a little bit lower, but I've noticed that a lot of the draft pundits, at least the ones on YouTube and the ones I've listened to podcasts of, are lower on Isaiah Spiller than the rest of the NFL seems to be. I just don't see much juice, much pop with him. And I think Tampa goes with him in round 2, but I'd love to see them go more Brian Robinson Jr. or wait a round or 2. North Carolina's Ty Chandler. I know he's older, but I love him as a prospect, and I'd love to see him go somewhere where he can play immediately. Next up, the receivers. Jameson Williams, I think, is the top receiver off the board. I think he's headed to the Atlanta Falcons. He would have easily been the number 1 receiver if he had not gotten hurt. Number 5 receiver on my board, number 27 overall. I'm not as high on him as a lot of other people. I think he is basically a speed demon, and there's definitely a place for that. I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying that some of these other guys have a little bit more to offer. Most notably, my number 1 wideout, and that's Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. My number 1 wideout. Number 7 on my big board, I have him going to the Jets at number 10, assuming that pick is not traded for Deebo Samuel. Garrett Wilson, Stephon Diggs is a perfect comp for Garrett Wilson. I love it, and I think he has just as good body control and fluidity in his routes. I love the pick here if the Jets make it. Another pick I would love is the Eagles going Drake London. Number 2 wideout on my board, 14th overall. He could be Brandon Marshall for the 2020s. The ability to separate does concern me, but he does have better yak ability than a lot of guys his size would have. And I'm very excited to see what Drake London can do in an opportunity like going to play with Philadelphia and next to Devontae Smith. Next up, number 3, Chris Olave, number 18 on my big board. Probably the best route runner in this class. I have him going to the New Orleans Saints. Man, can you imagine him and Michael Thomas in the same? That would be really tough. The short yardage ability to get open in that receiving core would be absolutely electric. Number 4 wide receiver, that's Traelin Berks. A lot of people are skeptical of Berks because he didn't run the best 40 time. Watch the tape. I have no concerns with this guy's speed, and I have him going to Green Bay. Green Bay love their big, physical wide receivers. Traelin Berks will just be another one to add to the collection. Oh, wait, they don't have anybody there, so they definitely need something in Green Bay because Amari Rodgers, I loved him coming out last year, but I don't think he's going to get the job done. My big sleeper of this class, actually, before we get to that, last first rounder, Jahan Dotson, number 6, 29 on my board. He is basically a lesser version of Garrett Wilson, but that's still pretty damn good. And I have him going to the Kansas City Chiefs with the 30th pick of the draft. All right, time for my sleeper, my boy, John Mechie III, out of the University of Alabama. This is another guy that is a fantastic route runner. He is somebody that can get open in a quick amount of time and is going to be a quarterback's best friend. I have him going to San Francisco in the second round. Whether they keep Debo or whether they don't have Debo, they do need another option there because Ayuk was a little bit inconsistent last year. Mechie, Kittle, if they keep Debo, who's stopping them? Trey Lance is going to have nothing but open receivers in San Francisco when he gets going. Good way to break in a quarterback. Number 11 receiver on my board is George Pickens out of Georgia. I've been going to the Bears, who are desperate for everything wide receivers. There's another guy I'm going to talk about here in a bit that I'd rather see go to Chicago, but Pickens, the ability is there. I've heard a lot of things about how he is tough to work with. We'll see if that is just somebody blowing smoke or something that is genuinely concerning. Either way, he can make plays happen deep down the field. I don't want to say a 50-50 ball type of guy, but throw it up and George Pickens will find a way to make the catch. Next up, Sky Moore, my wide receiver, number 13. A little bit small, but he can get open in all different types of ways as well. I have him going to the Washington Commanders. They need somebody to work with Terry McLaurin. Go ahead and put Sky Moore on the field. And I'd love to see the Washington Commanders go receiver round 1, but I think that somebody in the secondary, whether it's Stingley, Gardner, Hamilton, somebody's going to drop, and I don't think Washington's going to be able to pass up on that opportunity. Here's where I would like to see Chicago go. That is Christian Watson out of North Dakota State, number 10 receiver on my board, number 49 overall. This guy might have the highest ceiling of any receiver in this class that isn't the top 5 guys of Wilson, London, Olave, Berks, and Williams. And even then, his ceiling might be up there with them. He has big play potential all over him. He's 6'4", he runs a 4.3. His hands can be a little bit problematic sometimes. And that's why he's down here. But his potential, get a good receivers coach in there. We can see what happens with Christian Watson, and we could be talking about him being potentially the best receiver of this class. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Wan'Dale Robinson out of Kentucky, number 9 receiver on my board, number 45. This guy can be used all over the place. He reminds me a little bit of Elijah Moore from last year's class. So I have him going to the Cleveland Browns. He would be an electric tool for Deshaun Watson and that Cleveland offense. Over in New England, I think they need a bit of a bigger receiver that can also separate. Enter Jalen Tolbert out of South Alabama, my number 20 receiver on this board, 147 overall. I don't think he's really doing too much outside of just being a big body down the field. I would have liked to see him have more short area burst from the tape that I watched. I expected more of it, but maybe that's something that he gets better at the next level. I don't know. Dallas Cowboys, they need receiver help. Enter Khalil Shakir, my number 13 receiver, 89 on the big board. I just want to go and watch him play somewhere where there's no attention on him. Don't go round 1, go round 3, have the backup slot on you, and terrorize early when no one's expecting it. I think that a place like Dallas, where the attention's going to be on CeeDee Lamb, on Michael Gallup, on Zeke, on Tony Pollard, Blake Jarwin, Khalil Shakir can be a very helpful secret weapon. Secret is out regarding this guy. Alec Pierce, Cincinnati wide receiver. Y'all need to pay attention to this guy because he is Eric Decker on a rock star amount of steroids. Number 8 receiver in my draft, number 37. He is a physical, deep threat, and he runs fantastic routes. I think that he could be the big sleeper of this class along with John Mechie. Then we have David Bell, my number 19 wide receiver, 129 on the big board. I think technically this guy is very good. Technically, very good receiver. He's just slow as sin, and that ain't good. Next up, Calvin Austin III, wide receiver out of Memphis. 15th on my wide receiver board, 109. Very small guy, but you can use him all over the place. He will get open. All right, going to move a little bit quicker because we have about 5.5 minutes until this draft gets going. Trey McBride, tight end number 1, and the only tight end I'm going to talk about here, 53rd on my big board, would have been my 4th tight end last year. This is not a very good class. I have Trey McBride ending up, let's see, the New Orleans Saints. So they give Jameis Winston some more weapons and a real chance to succeed coming back to New Orleans off that ACL tear. Offensive line time, Ike Ekwonu. My offensive tackle 1, my offensive lineman 1, because I think he can play tackle. He can also play guard. OT 1, big board, number 4, and I have him headed to the Houston Texans to get that ground game going, and I think they start him playing at guard. New York Giants need offensive line help. They go Evan Neal, my number 3 offensive tackle, 12th on my big board because I am considerably higher on Charles Cross than most people. That's my number 2 offensive tackle, 6th on my big board. One of these offensive tackles is going to drop. Whether it's Neal or Cross, I don't expect it to be Ekwonu though. One of them is going to drop. And I think the New Orleans Saints are going to be the beneficiary of that as Cross headed to New Orleans to take over for Terron Armstead. Next up, Northern Iowa offensive tackle Trevor Penning. Offensive tackle number 4, big board 31. A lot of people have called him fake tough, but he does have a lot to work with for an offensive line coach. He is very a moldable ball of clay type of guy, and I have him headed to the Green Bay Packers to play right tackle for Aaron Rodgers. Next up, the only other offensive tackle I think could maybe go round 1, that's Bernard Raymond out of Central Michigan, number 6 offensive tackle on my board. Then you have Zion Johnson on the inside. Number 20 on my big board, I think the Baltimore Ravens end up with Zion Johnson because he can play all over the offensive line, and I think Jordan Davis is getting mocked to them a lot, and I get that. I do get that. Calais Campbell is not getting any younger. Got to keep Lamar Jackson healthy. Zion Johnson really going to help with that. Another versatile offensive lineman, Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M. I think he's headed to the New England Patriots to fill the shoes of Shaq Mason, who's gone to Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, they go Tyler Linderbaum. Someone that can play center when Ryan Jensen eventually re-retires. He could play guard until then. Him and Tristan Wirfs, good buddies at Iowa. Tulsa's Tyler Smith. A lot of these interior offensive linemen are very versatile. I think the Bills snatch him up in round 1. A lot of people really hoping that it's Breece Hall for the Bills. I think they go a little bit later on the running back. I talked about that with James Cook. All right, number 1 overall pick, probably going to be Trayvon Walker. Number 17 on my board. I have 3 edge rushers ahead of him. 3! And they're going to pick him number 1. I just don't see the explosiveness out of Trayvon Walker. Yes, he tested well, but watch the tape. And I know Georgia didn't really ask him to do as much, but when you have a sure thing like Aiden Hutchinson, number 3 on my big board, I think heading to the Detroit Lions, and my number 1 overall guy, Kayvon Thibodeau, who I think is headed to the Jets, playing at the same position, it's a little bit preposterous to me that you would go Trayvon Walker. It's a bit ridiculous. Hold on, I got to make sure that I don't have Ian Rappaport tweets on notification. I don't want these picks getting spoiled for me. I don't like that at all. Next up on the edge, George Karlaftis. I'm very high on Karlaftis, and somebody in the teens or 20s is going to have him fall right into their lap. Fortunately for the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they're the beneficiary of it. David Ojabo, he would have been my edge rusher number 3. He would have been maybe even a top 5 guy if he didn't tear his Achilles. And that's a tough way to start a career. I still have him at edge 5, big board, number 25, and I have him headed to the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's where things get rough. Jermaine Johnson III, I have at edge 6, big board 28. If he goes to the Jets, you're going to see me have a nervous breakdown on camera. I have him going to the Seattle Seahawks. However, let's go to the next guy that I have going round 1. That's a defensive tackle, and it's Jordan Davis out of Georgia. Best defensive tackle in this class. I think he's headed to the Los Angeles Chargers. They desperately need help in the run game. Where better to start than with Jordan freaking Davis. This man is a mammoth sitting right in the middle of the offensive line. Instantly solves problems for the Los Angeles Chargers. Dallas Cowboys also need a little bit of help in the trenches. Enter Devontae Wyatt. Also, a Georgia defensive tackle. Spoiler alert, a lot of Georgia defensive players that we could be talking about. I'm less high on this guy, but he could go round one, and that's UConn's Travis Jones. I don't think he has as much pass rushing potential as people are telling me that he does. I think he is a two-down guy. I would love for him to prove me wrong, and over the course of this show, I'm going to say a lot of things that age very, very, very poorly. I'm going to get some things right, though, too, so you have to take those chances when you're doing a show like this. It comes with the territory. Next up, top linebacker, Devin Lloyd out of Utah. This is not a great linebacking core at the top, but I do think there's some depth to it, so I want to see if there are any linebackers taken in the first round. There might not be, but there's going to be a run on them at some point, either late in the second round or early in the third. But Devin Lloyd, I think, is one that I don't have a first-round grade on him, but if somebody wants to throw their first-round pick at him, they're going to get a solid linebacker, and they're going to have the linebacker of their choice. I think it's Tennessee that ends up going with him. Nakobe Dean might go first round. Who knows? He's my number 3 linebacker in this class, behind Lloyd and Wisconsin linebacker Leo Chanel. I think it's the Lions that go with Nakobe Dean at the top of the second round. Another guy that's being linked to the first round, Georgia linebacker Quay Walker out of Georgia. I'm not in on him the way that I would like to be. I think Channing Tindall is more athletic. I think that Quay Walker doesn't provide the pass rush that Nakobe Dean or Channing Tindall does, but I think he's more knowledgeable about recognizing what's going on and just attacking it than Channing Tindall was at Georgia, my number 8 linebacker. All right, this is a big one. Ahmad Gardner out of Cincinnati, number 1 corner, 2 on my big board. I think he is fantastic. Best corner I've seen in quite some time, and I think he ends up a member of the New York Football Giants. But that doesn't mean I'm low on Derek Stingley Jr., because I love this guy too, and I think he's heading to the Washington Commanders. Keep these guys in the same division. Number 5 on my big board would have been the top corner last year. Yes, that includes Pat Surtain. I like J.C. Horn better. It is what it is. Caught on the 2019 tape. I don't know if you've ever seen a corner play better in college football than Derek Stingley Jr. Washington cornerback Trent McDuffie, my number 4 cornerback, 24 on my big board. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going corner regardless. They are really desperate at that position, and they've missed a lot. Jeff Gladney, that did not go well, and I think they tried to rectify that situation. They go Trent McDuffie. Another guy they could go with would be my number 3 corner, Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson. Andrew Booth Jr. a little bit better to play bump and run than Trent McDuffie would. McDuffie, his arm size is a little bit of a concern to some scouts. I still think he's a good corner. I like Booth a little bit better, though, and I think Booth ends up a member of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm very interested to see if my 5th corner goes first round. That's Kyler Elam out of Florida. Number 5 corner, number 33 on my big board, so I do have a second-round grade on him. However, it's 50-50. But I think he ends up a member of the Cincinnati Bengals before the end of the night. I think they did a good job doing as much as they could in free agency and through trades for La'el Collins for the offensive line. And I do still think they go 1 or 2 offensive linemen before the 4th round or so. But they start the draft going cornerback because I think they're tired of hearing all the Eli Apple jokes. All right. Another Washington corner could maybe go round 1. That's Kyler Gordon, cornerback number 6 out of Washington. I think he's a round 2 guy to the New York Jets. They desperately need more cornerback depth. I'd be shocked if they did not go corner at some point in the first 2 days of this draft. Now let's get to the safeties. This is a damn good safety class, which we needed because last year's safety class was not good. That's Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. You'll notice he's not my safety 1. He's my safety 2, number 15 on my big board. I think he has a little bit of weakness with man coverage sometimes. I have another guy ahead of him simply because of that, and I have him headed to the Houston Texans, with their second first-round pick, they need help in that secondary. But my safety one is Daxton Hill out of Michigan. I absolutely love this guy. And I couldn't find a first-round pick for him. I have him going round 2 to Jacksonville, first pick of round 2. But if I was betting on this, which I'm not, but if I was, I'd bet on Daxton Hill to go round 1. I just expect that to happen. If you want a diet version of him, I wouldn't necessarily say discount, because you'll see I have a good grade on this guy. It's Jalen Petit out of Baylor, my number 5 safety, 39 on my big board. This guy does a lot of the same things that Daxton Hill does. I just think Daxton Hill does them better. And then last person I'm going to get to before this starts out, before the commissioner comes to the podium to announce that the draft is underway, that's Lewis Cine out of Georgia, number 6 on my safety board and number 52 overall. I think this guy is an absolute heat-seeking missile, and I do love him, but I think a lot of times he doesn't quite know where he's going. I'd like to see him have a little bit more awareness. It's just something I noticed when watching the Georgia film. Georgia asked very, very specific things out of their players. Very, very specific things out of their guys. So I don't know if these Georgia defensive players are going to be able to make the transition. They might not be able to. I'm not sure. I'll be back in just 1 second to get started as the commissioner comes to the podium. Let me get a glass of water real quick. I am ready to go. All right. It is time. Roger Goodell stepping up to the podium. Let me see if I can get some volume up in here. We got Derek Carr. I think that's Darren Waller, which would make it really awkward if they traded Darren Waller. There were a little bit of rumors about that earlier in the week. I don't know if you guys saw that the Packers were really interested in Darren Waller. I doubt that the Packers are actually going to trade him, or that the Raiders are going to trade him, or any team's going to trade him, because, trades go 2 ways. This is nice. This is nice. Derek Carr looks weird, man. The AFC West is going to be absolutely crazy this season. I don't want to say I feel bad for Patrick Mahomes, because I don't, but I feel bad for everyone in that conference, because somebody has to finish last. Russell Wilson, Justin Herbert. I mean, Derek Carr's kind of the obvious choice when you look at quarterbacks, but man, I mean, he's got Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. They also added Chandler Jones. They don't have a pick today. I don't do any AFC West. Okay, Kansas City picks twice towards the end. Vegas doesn't pick. Chargers pick in the middle. Denver doesn't pick. They got Ice Cube there? And his jersey just says Ice Cube. I've had this cup for about 21 years. It still says Jets on it, but I mean, it's faded. It's faded as all hell. Kind of like Ice Cube right now, apparently. Good God. Oh, man. Someone needs to turn his mic down. He is peaking like crazy. Las Vegas Raiders. Man, can you believe that team made the playoffs last year? I mean, I wanted to see Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert is one of my biggest draft hits. I was banging the table for Herbert, not over Tua necessarily, because I loved what I saw out of two. All right, I don't need to hear from Ice Cube right now. I mean, I just don't. Unless he's reciting lines from Jump Street, then maybe I need to hear from him. But, man, Derek Carr, I mean, that invaluable job last year. Not the most valuable player, regardless of what his brother David says. Not the most valuable player, but, man, what a job getting that team with all the stuff going on with John Gruden and Henry Ruggs, and they used their first-round pick on Alex Leatherwood, who was just terrible, and that's one of my big misses. I was the guy that when they picked Leatherwood, which was a surprise in round one, don't get that twisted. It was a surprise. But I was the guy saying, oh, it's not that bad. He's a good offensive tackle. If you switched their first-round pick with their second-round pick, nobody would complain, and I do still hold that. But, all right, the Jacksonville Jaguars are officially on the clock. The NFL draft is open for business. And this is the guy that they're looking at taking. Trayvon Walker, edge rusher out of Georgia, number 4 edge rusher, 17th on my big board. Trayvon Walker should not be in this conversation. Don't get me wrong. I like Trayvon Walker. I think he's a good player. He's 17th on my big board for crying out loud. I do have a first-round grade on him. He is not a top overall pick in this draft. I've never seen it happen like this, where somebody who 2 or 3 months ago was a mid-first-round guy, like maybe you would get every now and then somebody be like, oh, maybe he could go top 10. I had a mock 3 weeks ago where I had him going to Seattle at 9, and I was like, oh, maybe I should put him down a little bit. No, apparently he's the number 1 guy. This is going to be the final straw for Trent Baalke, or Balky, or whatever the hell we're calling this guy. You know why he's not taking the guy that he should take? Now, I mean, I think it should be this guy. That just, Kayvon Thibodeau. I think every possible complaint about Kayvon Thibodeau in this draft, every character concern, he likes money. I like money. You wouldn't know it from looking at anything in my apartment, but I like money too. And he has the opportunity to make a lot of it. Who cares? He also knows that if he doesn't play well, nobody's going to want to buy anything with his face on it. I think he gets that. Just ridiculous concerns. If you have on-field concerns with Kayvon Thibodeau, that's fine. I don't. But if you do, and that's the reason why you're not taking him, cool. Got it. Understood. But this whole, oh, he's a bad guy thing, grow up. Come on. Although I would love it if the New York Jets were just putting that out there to get Thibodeau to fall to 4. But if they do that and don't take him, that would be a problem. I would not like that. But this is the guy that was supposed to go the betting favorite for weeks on end. Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan. This guy single-handedly, I mean, they're showing him right there. He definitely lined up off sides. I mean, that guy was, geez, were the refs drunk? Asleep? Dead? Oh yeah, they're showing here where he took Nicholas Petit Frere, and he was a. Let me get to Nicholas Petit Frere for a second, because he was a first round prospect going into the Michigan-Ohio State game. Nicholas Petit Frere was a first round prospect. This is what Aiden Hutchinson did to him. 132. And, I think he's going to go mid-third round. So I'm lower on him than most people, because I think bull rush, you can absolutely knock him over with these bull rushes, and he has a weak outside shoulder. That's why I have him there. I think he goes to Los Angeles Chargers, and yeah, he's better than Storm Norton, but, I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest. I might be better than Storm Norton. That's not much of a... that's not really saying a whole lot. They definitely do need to take someone there, though. They solved their left tackle issue with Rashawn Slater. Now you need to do right tackle. But back to the whole Trayvon Walker thing. If Trent Baalke is not taking this guy because Aiden Hutchinson is the obvious pick, and Hutchinson played at Michigan with Jim Harbaugh, who had a falling out with Trent Baalke when he was the GM at San Francisco, That is some obnoxiously petty crap. That's not how you do things, man. Come on, you got the number 1 overall pick. You got the number 1 overall pick. And you know what? You keep having the number 1 overall pick because of stuff like that. How do you not have the pick in yet? How do you not know? How do you not know who you're going with? Some of this draft stuff, man, just drives me up a wall. Like, how do you not know who you're picking? You know who you're picking. You should have known who you were picking last week. This is the most intriguing number 1 overall pick I've ever seen. It might not mean as much as it does most years because a quarterback will not be involved unless Trent Baalke's really off his rocker. I mean, I know Trevor Lawrence didn't have a good year last year, but here, give him more than one season, please. But because it could be Walker, Hutchinson, okay, the pick is in. Finally. All right, the pick is in. I can't wait to see, because if it's Walker, I would be shocked if the Lions don't sprint to the podium to take Aiden Hutchinson. The Michigan kid, high-quality guy, high-quality player. And you know Aiden Hutchinson is going to come in there and bite kneecaps from day one. Please don't take Kayvon Thibodeau, though. I heard that him and Kayvon Thibodeau, the Lions GM, Kayvon Thibodeau, they were hitting it off. They were having a great time. All buddy-buddy. I hope that didn't mean a damn thing to the Detroit Lions. Yeah, we were buddy-buddy and all, but we like Aiden Hutchinson. He played in the state of Michigan, and you played in Oregon, so we're going to go with Aiden Hutchinson. God, they're really going to take Trayvon Walker, aren't they? They're going to take Trayvon Walker. Like, okay, I know you can't see anything, but they haven't announced it yet. The pick is in. Once it comes to Goodell, I'll turn the volume up a little bit. You may or may not hear it, but I want to hear at least the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Because let's just be honest, that sound is beautiful. That sound is oh so beautiful. And by the way, I probably am going to go at some point tonight, just kind of audio only for a little bit. I have no idea what the life on my battery is. Not a single clue whatsoever. So it might be in the somewhere in the teens where I go to audio only. But I'll still give you hella analysis. And we'll see what happens. All right, they're showing a Vikings fan that looks like a cracked out Mick Jagger. So just Mick Jagger. Can we show Jaguars fans? There we go. It's the Jaguars pick. Let's show fans of the team that's picking. All right, here we go. First overall pick. Let's see who it is. Is Mike Greenberg hosting this? God, we really miss Chris Berman as a community, huh? Oh, that sound. Oh, give it to me. Let's go. Come on. They really did it. They really did it. Trent Baalke. Trent Baalke. By the way, this board is not just for Kayvon Thibodeau no matter what. This is for grading the picks as they come in. The Jacksonville Jaguars select Trayvon Walker out of the University of Georgia, my 4th edge rusher and my number 17 player in the draft. Let's see, what do I give this pick? I'm not going to be overly critical. I'm not here to be an ass. But you know what? F-. That's what you get when you take my number 17 ranked player in the draft, number 1. They really did it. They really had an opportunity to take... They had an opportunity to take Aiden Hutchinson, and they took Trayvon Walker. I don't want to hear the analysis. I've been watching this guy's tape for 2.5 months. And not once did I see the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Not one time. How did this happen? We are a broken people. They really did it. Oh, of course the Lions got their pick in. The Lions knew as soon... Yes, the Lions pick is in. And I'd be stunned if it wasn't Aiden Hutchinson. They're running. They're sprinting to the podium to take Aiden Hutchinson right now. They really went with Trayvon Walker, number 1 overall pick in this draft. Trayvon Walker. How did this happen? How did we get here? If you look at the numbers on like man on man, just get after the quarterback type situations and look at the top edge rushers. I'm talking like not even him against the top 2 or 3 guys. I'm talking him against like the 9th and 10th guys in this class. This guy is just considerably lower than everybody else. How did we get here? What happened? I'm heated. I don't want to be heated. I want to like these picks. I like Trayvon Walker. I remember seeing like, oh, somebody's going to get a steal with Trayvon Walker in the teens. Oh, could you imagine like maybe, I don't know if the Ravens can maybe play him like with his hand in the dirt, 3-4, like, because I really think like he could be like Eric Armstead in the right situation. But like, I hope they play him at D-tackle. Honestly. Because the Jaguars have nothing at D-tackle. Nothing. I know that K'Lavon Chasen was a bad pick and a bust. But you had an opportunity to get the best edge rushers in this class. Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau. Hell, I would have been cool. Karlaftis. He has double steak burritos at Chipotle. Sorry. No, that's not true. Triple steak burritos at Chipotle. Who doesn't love that? Anyway, the Lions are going to run to the podium. They're going to take Aiden Hutchinson. The pick's already in. When does this happen? Usually it's like 40 minutes. Oh my God, the Jets are picking soon. Oh my God, I got it. I'm nervous. They're going to go Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson. Because of course it's Aiden Hutchinson. The Detroit Lions went with Aiden Hutchinson. Nobody in America is happier right now than the Detroit Lions front office. And I'm so glad that meeting with Kayvon Thibodeau was not as buddy-buddy as I heard it was. In case you're curious, no, actually, I'm going to take this back just a little bit. I'm going to... that's an A. They get an A. I had A+, but I can't give them the plus because Kayvon Thibodeau was on the board, and I on principle, when the number 1 player in the entire draft is on the board at the position you're picking at, you have a duty by God to pick that guy. And as much as I love Aiden Hutchinson, can't give the A+ because he ain't Kayvon Thibodeau, in my personal opinion. But let's talk about what Aiden Hutchinson is. He is a baller. I look at him, and I see souped up Max Crosby. That's what I see with Aiden Hutchinson. And I don't know if you watched Max Crosby last year. He was pretty damn souped up all on his own. Aiden Hutchinson wrecks offensive linemen. He's got such a good bull rush. He can beat you outside. He's a great leader. A lot of people have been doing the J.J. Watt comparison with Aiden Hutchinson. Dan Campbell is going to just love Aiden Hutchinson. This guy is not going to bite your kneecap. He is going to rip your kneecap to shreds and feast on the cartilage. George Karlaftis might have a triple steak burrito at Chipotle. Aiden Hutchinson is about to have a triple cartilage burrito at Chipotle. I love this pick for the Detroit Lions. They got rid of Trey Flowers. They gave a lot of picks last year. Levi Onwuzurike and Alim McNeil from NC State into the interior of that defensive line. Now you fill out the edges. You get your pass rusher. And you know what the best thing about this pick for the Detroit Lions is? They didn't reach on a quarterback. They didn't take Malik Willis. They didn't take Kenny Pickett. Because I think the better this is a weird draft. I think the better quarterbacks are going to go late in round 1 or in round 2. I think the best guys I don't know. I don't know why Kenny Pickett. I do know why Kenny Pickett is considered to be one of the top guys. It's because he might be the most pro ready because he was at Pitt for like 8 years. But beats me. Oh, the pick is in. The Texans pick is in. Who do I expect this pick to be? Well, this is where the draft could get really crazy. I think that Derek Stingley Jr. has actually been the betting favorite for this pick. However, if you ask me personally, I think it's going to be this guy. I think it's going to be Ike Ekwonu. I think the Texans plug him in at guard. They want to get tougher in the trenches. And that scares me because maybe they'll go Kayvon Thibodeau. That scares me. Way too early for Jordan Davis. It's not gonna, they can maybe go Jordan Davis with 13. They're not going him with 3. If they go Jordan Davis at 3, I will jump out of my chair and do cartwheels. Is Kayvon Thibodeau going to be there when the Jets pick? And the Jets are going to do something stupid. They're not going to pick him. Texans pick is in. Let's see what happens. I forgot to mute the TV, so you might not have heard a single thing I said. Houston Texans, you look on their draft simulator stuff, and it says they need every position. And they do. They are very needy in the secondary. I think it's a little early for Kyle Hamilton. Some people would disagree with that. I don't think it's too early for Sauce Gardner or Derek Stingley Jr. And while I would love to see them go offensive lineman, because that means that the Jets won't take Ekwonu, and if Ekwonu's on the board, Jets might take him. I'm being a little bit selfish here, being a little bit of a homer. But I do think the Texans want to get stronger in the interior. And I do think that they want to win the trenches. And I think that's where Lovie Smith wants to start. However, the secondary's weak. This is a strong class in the secondary. I've heard rumors that they're going to move back up into the top 10 with that number 13 pick and look for a receiver. There have been very conflicting reports as to whether they are going to go receiver, whether they're not going to go receiver. I don't know. But we're going to find out. The pick is in. Houston Texans, Roger Goodell, get to the damn podium, buddy. Yeah, it's been a really quick draft. They've been getting them in, I know that's been 2 picks in 25 minutes so far, but the draft really got started at 8:10 because nothing ever starts when they tell you it's going to start, ever. Went to a movie the other day. By the way, if you want to check out my review along with some of my buddies, Howard Collins, Joshua Cormeyer, Brandon too, reviewed The Northman, a movie that was supposed to start at 7, started at 7:37 because of all the commercials. You can check that out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or SoundCloud under Press Play Action. All right, Houston, not Kayvon. Derek Stingley Jr. Oh! So, Kayvon! Give me Kayvon! Go! Kayvon is there! Kayvon is there! But we got to talk about the Texans pick first. Oh, my... Oh! Kayvon, we're going to do this. Let me get a glass of water and sweat a little bit. Oh! Thibodeau was there at 4. But let's talk about the Texans. Kayvon or Derek Stingley Jr. What do I give this pick? This is another A. Derek Stingley Jr. might be the most dominant player in this class. His 2019 tape, I will put any defensive player that's played college football that's not an edge rusher. Challenge you to have better tape than that. Find better tape than Derek Stingley in 2019. I know he has some injury issues, but if you can get that 2019 Derek Stingley, you get one of the top corners that could potentially be playing in the NFL. This is, wow. I'm shocked that they actually made this pick. I really thought they were going to go interior. But you know what? And I'm a little bit surprised about the Stingley going over Sauce Gardner. I'm not entirely shocked over it, but I did not expect... Sauce was so dominant, and Stingley had the injury issues. But at the end of the day, if you watch the 2019 tape, you're going to fall in love with Derek Stingley Jr. And once you see that, it can be hard to get it out of your head. And the Texans, Lovie Smith wanted a corner like he wanted his own Revis. You know, he had Charles Tillman when he was in Chicago. And this can be even better. It has the potential to be. He would go up against Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, every day in practice and shut them down. He would go against SEC receivers every week and just shut them down. Let's see if he can do it in the AFC South. And the AFC South only really has one dominant wide receiver right now. That's A.J. Brown for Tennessee. The Colts have Michael Pittman Jr., and I do like him. He definitely made a lot of progress. The Jaguars gave Christian Kirk starting wide receiver one money. Doesn't mean he's wide receiver one, but they gave him that cash. Now it's the Jets' turn to pick. And the guy I want is on the board. Can you tell that I'm stressed? Can you tell that I'm worried? Can you tell that I am very, very concerned? Look, if they take an edge rusher and a receiver, I'll be happy. But if that edge rusher isn't Kayvon Thibodeaux, I will be significantly less happy. This has to be Thibodeaux, right? Everything I have wanted for the last few months is coming down to this pick. I don't like that. That makes me feel I feel like I'm out of control. I feel like I have no control in this thing. I have any damn control. The pick is in. Oh my god. Oh my god, the pick is in. I'm going to vomit. I'm going to cry. I want to go ahead and get. I hope I see you soon. Please. I want you. Please. I would love for this to be the pick. I've heard Jermaine Johnson several times. I have heard Ike Ekwonu. I've heard Sauce Gardner. And you know what? I want to put this on the record. I won't be mad about Sauce Gardner. He's my number 2 player on my board. Getting him at number 4, it would not be the worst thing. And it's at a position of need. But the number 1 player on my board is available too. And he's also at a position of need. In a position we haven't had a dominant player at since John Abraham left for the Atlanta Falcons back in, 2005? Oh, come on. I need this. I want Kayvon Thibodeaux. Badly. You have no idea. Okay. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, we get it. The Jets suck. The Giants suck too. New York sucks. We get it. We understand. We know. And we're both picking a lot this year. I think the Giants, if the Jets don't go Ekwonu, I think the Giants do. All right, Jets people seem happy. Hopefully that's because they're happy. They didn't expect Kayvon Thibodeaux and all their, talking about Thibodeaux and, oh, he's got character problems. It worked out. Y'all, if we pick Jermaine Johnson, you're about to see a man get, rejected on national TV or YouTube, whatever the hell this is. I am nervous. If we trade for Deebo Samuel at 10, I'll be happy regardless of what happens with this pick. If we get Kayvon Thibodeaux and Deebo Samuel in the same draft, I'm going to just cry happy tears. It's probably one of the dumbest things I've said in quite some time. No, it's not. I've said much dumber. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Give me Kayvon. Give me Kayvon. Por favor. Please. Kayvon. come on. Oh, Goodell's coming to the podium. Oh, my God. Please. 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 It's not going to be Kayvon, is it? Sauce Gardner. You know what? That I said I'd be fine with it, and I'm fine with it. I would definitely have preferred Kayvon Thibodeaux, but you know what? That is a guy at a player of a position of need, and he's my second best player in this entire draft. This is another one. Going to become a very popular grade, but you know what? It is what it is. It's an A. I mean, sorry. I don't want to be the AF, I'm not going to be that chalky throughout the entire time, but this is a really good pick. I would have definitely preferred Kayvon Thibodeaux. But you know what? Sauce Gardner is a damn good cornerback. This guy has the potential to be the next Darrelle Revis, and I don't say that lightly. Sauce Gardner shut folks down at Cincinnati, and he didn't just shut folks down in the American Athletic Conference. He shut folks down regardless of who played against them. Whether it was Alabama, whether it was Georgia, whether it was Notre Dame, he shut down whoever the hell was in front of him. This guy is a phenomenal corner. He is my top-ranked corner since Patrick Peterson came out for LSU, and I might have him higher than that. I absolutely love Sauce Gardner. I'm sad to not get Kayvon Thibodeaux, and New York Giants, you're welcome, because you're probably going to get Kayvon Thibodeaux at number 9 or number 7. Bad break for the Giants. They really needed to go corner with that 7th pick. They're probably going to give up Bradbury. Sauce is gone. Stingley's gone. The Giants, man. I think 7's going to be Kayvon Thibodeaux, and you know what? I think that's a good pick for them. But you never know. Okay, so we did not fumble this pick. I'm happy with that. I would have been fine with Sauce Gardner. I am fine with Sauce Gardner. I feel relieved. I really do, because we did not go offensive line. Like I had heard for so long, like we were going to pick Evan Neal, and then like Becton was going to be like on a farm or something, like not even playing football. Or we'd go Jermaine Johnson, and I just don't think he's that good of a football player to be picked that high, quite frankly. We picked somebody that is worthy of being picked at number 4. And for that, I am thankful. It was not Kayvon Thibodeaux, but you know what? The Jets, they got a hell of a corner. And in a division where you're going to need somebody to step in front of Stephon Diggs and shut him down, someone to hang with the Jalen Waddles and the Tyreek Hills of the world, and someone to shut down Nelson Aguilar. Sorry, I was going to do a fake laugh there, but that really did make me laugh. Oh, the Patriots need receivers badly, and yet I still don't think they're going to take receiver, because I think defensively they have a bit of an overhaul to do there. They're getting a lot older, so I think they do need to go defense or offensive line, because they just lost Shaq Mason. But man, the Jets just got a damn good player at number 3. Look at this kid. I mean, we got the sauce, baby. Like I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Hey, we got the sauce. I don't know why I picked Worcestershire sauce. I don't know why that's like, I feel like I should drink this in honor of our new cornerback, but like, I'm not dumb. I need to get some Sweet Baby Ray's. My sauce game is just weak right now. Holy crap. I just came to a realization. My sauce game is weak as hell. I need to step it up. And you know what? In honor of this man right here, I'm going to step up my sauce game. Because I know he's going to step up his sauce game for the New York Jets. Congratulations, Sauce Gardner. You are now the next Darrelle Revis. All right, I put the sauce away like a man. Let's see who the New York Giants pick. If I had to guess, I think the Giants go with Ekwonu. Yeah, I think this is the second pick in a row, or no, the second pick in the last three that I think it's going to be Icky. I'm expecting Icky here. Best offensive lineman available really should be the pick. We'll see. Oh my gosh. The Jets made a good pick. If they go Sauce and Kayvon Thibodeau. Now we need to get Zach Wilson some weapons. Zach Wilson needs some weapons. I think Ekwonu could be the pick. It could be Charles Cross. I know that they've been linked to Charles Cross a lot. It could be Evan Neal. All right, who's this kid they got with the pick? You're way too hyped, kid. No, stop trying to get the crowd hyped up. Why am I mad at this kid? I don't know him. Oh, Jesus. I did not know that. No. We're going to get the crowd hyped up for him. Let's go. I feel really bad now. Let's go. Get hyped up for the kid. God, I feel really bad now. I hope they announce a good player. Whenever they have these, people on to do announcements, I'm always afraid that they're going to pick an awful player. Pick somebody where, you're immortalized. Where, they pick, the best player in franchise history or something. That would be cool. Don't come out the New York Jets pissed me off forever. They brought out Chad Pennington, my idol, my hero, to announce that they picked Christian Hackenberg. You don't do that to people. All right. Wow. Kayvon Thibodeau is going to New York, but, not for my team. Wow. I have to do it. I'm legally obliged. I am legally obliged. I said get Kayvon Thibodeau to New York, and I guess I was correct. I guess I did it, but Kayvon Thibodeau, best player in the class, going to the New York Giants. The two best players in the entire draft are going to be in the city of New York. How about that? Kayvon Thibodeau, the Giants, Sauce Gardner, the Jets, and of course, that's an A+ pick. Yes, I know they need offensive line, but guess what? If the Panthers don't go quarterback at 6, let's say the Panthers go with Ekwonu, they can still pick Evan Neal or Charles Cross. If the Panthers do pick a quarterback, they still have all the offensive line picks they could have. So I don't mind this pick at all. Someone can move up and go get Kayvon, the best player in the draft, and you got him now. You got him. New York Giants, hell of a job. Dave Gettleman would have done. He would have picked Devontae Wyatt. You know it. You would have picked Devontae Wyatt, or you would have picked Tyler Smith out of Tulsa. It would have been something where the pick did not match the value. Top player in the draft goes to the New York Giants. Top player in the draft goes to the New York Giants. Wow. You want to talk about a team making the most of their draft picks? These New York teams so far have been absolutely outstanding. The New York Giants got a star edge rusher, and the New York Jets got a star cornerback. New York, I don't know how your second picks are going to do, but your first picks, looking pretty damn good. Let's recap so far. Top 5 picks in the books. Jacksonville Jaguars. Stupid. Trayvon, by the way, that kid is making the most of this moment. And yeah, I think so, because he just announced the next great NFL edge rusher. I think this guy is year 1, double-digit sack guy. The New York Giants hit this one out of the park and into the parking lot. Pick number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars, Trayvon Walker. That got an F from me. Of course it got an F from me. It was terrible. Pick number 2, Detroit Lions, Aiden Hutchinson. That's an A. Pick number 3, Houston Texans. Derek Stingley Jr., an A. Pick number 4, New York Jets, Sauce Gardner, another A. Number 5, New York Giants, knock it out of the park. First A+ of the draft, Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon. Now this is where things get very, very, very interesting. Carolina Panthers on the clock. Do they go quarterback? Sam Darnold, trash. Do they replace him behind an offensive line that's trash? Which problem do you fix? Or do they do what they did last year and just say, screw it, we're not solving any of our problems. We're just going to pick J.C. Horn. And I love J.C. Horn. But he didn't really help the Panthers, even if he was healthy. Like, they needed either a quarterback or an offensive lineman. And Justin Fields and Rashawn Slater were both on the board. I said it back then. If Rashawn Slater's on the board, Panthers need to run to the podium. And they had the wrong envelope in their hand. They ran to the podium. They tripped. They fell. They busted their face on the pavement. And they ended up with J.C. Horn and an embarrassing season. I expect this to be Malik Willis. And then in turn, I expect Malik Willis to become Deshaun Kaiser. I know that all these things could age very, 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 very poorly. But I think if you put a quarterback that unpolished, that raw, you start him week 1. You put him behind that offensive line. Hell, you can start him week 8. Behind that offensive line, you're only going to make him look worse. You don't learn behind that. Oh, trial by fire. Yeah, but what about any semblance of confidence? The pick is in. Ooh. What if they go with, like, Desmond Ritter or Matt Corral? Again, this is who I think they're taking. That's number 61 on the board. 61! And he could go number 6. 55 spots ahead. Or do they go with Kenny Pickett? Or do they do the smart thing and take offensive tackle? Do they do the mature thing and take offensive tackle? Deep questions being asked here. No, I'm not solving any psychological problems. It's just the Carolina Panthers. And I think that this is the year they need to take offensive line and go heavy offensive line. Like, I know you don't have... I would have liked to see them trade down. Clearly, they didn't do that. Because I think they need those day 2 picks. Build either an offensive line or take one of the better quarterbacks. That's really weird to say. Oh, yeah, trade in the second round so you can get one of the good quarterbacks. That makes no damn sense. But for as bass-ackwards as this draft is, although most of the teams, except for the Jacksonville stupid-ass Jaguars, teams have done well. Teams have made good picks at positions that they need help. So I'm giving every team that isn't the Jacksonville Jaguars that's picked so far either an A or an A+. Hell, if the Jets make a good pick, that's how you know the day's been pretty good so far. And they have. Let's see what the Panthers do. I think as long as Matt Rule's the head coach, there's going to be problems there. And I would love to see a quarterback come in next year after a new head coach come. They should have fired Matt Rule this offseason. This guy said he was J-frickin-Z. No, you're Lay-frickin-Z. Get out of here. You suck. Sorry, that might be a little bit too hard. No, it's not. Every other Panthers fan would agree with me. This team has not been in a good place since Tepper took over. It has not been in a good place since Rule came in. And I can't wait to see what they look like next year with C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. Both of those guys would have been QB1 in this draft. At what point are we going to let guys just come out when they want to? Like, if you're a freshman and you're the best quarterback in the class, if you're a sophomore and you're the best quarterback in the class, when are we going to let you come out? When are we going to let you come out? 1 second. And I just realized I've had my mic off this whole time. It's been Ike Ekwonu. The Panthers made the smart choice, and I had my mic off this whole time. At least during the Panthers pick. Oh, man. Wow. But yeah, A+. Ike Ekwonu. How can you not love this pick for the Panthers? Smart, adult, responsible. The Panthers just did that. The Panthers made a smart choice. Who would have seen this coming? Man. I gotta tweet. I gotta give Panthers fans their respect. Wow. The Panthers made a smart choice. Because they did. You gotta give people credit when they do good things. Even if you absolutely hate them. You gotta give them credit when they do good things. And this is a good thing. This is a great pick for the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, I think my camera's probably going to die after 10 picks. This might be a 10-pick show. But either way, man, Giants at 7, what are they going to do here? I'm expecting, I don't think they expected the Panthers to go offensive line, but you got Neal, you got Cross. Kyle Hamilton, I would not grade that one favorably, but wow. But yeah, if I'm the Giants, that's where I'm going. I would absolutely love to see Charles Cross be the pick here. And maybe I am being stupid for going Charles Cross over Evan Neal. It's a possibility. I wouldn't doubt it. I've said and done dumb things before. I've been wrong on these guys. But Charles Cross is a high-quality offensive tackle. And that's where I would go. Although Evan Neal would be a good pick too. Just saying, Evan Neal would be a good pick. I can't believe I had my mic on mute for that whole Carolina Panthers thing. Oh my gosh. The light blinks when it's on mute. Who snuck into my bedroom and gave me a lobotomy last night? Good God. All right, Giants, are you ready to get another A+? The last two picks, ever since the Jaguars got an F, every other pick has either been an A or an A+. I have a feeling that streak ends here. Evan Neal, offensive tackle out of Alabama. All right. The streak doesn't end. The streak does not end because as much as I talk up Charles Cross, guess what? I love Evan Neal too. And, Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, if you tell a Giants fan, hey, you're going to get Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau in your first two picks, guess what? That's fantastic. That's great. And guess what? That's an A-. It's not an A+. It's not an A because I'm a Charles Cross guy. And there are a lot of us out there that liked Charles Cross more than Evan Neal. We exist. Don't silence us. That was never a thing. But, man, Evan Neal had the versatility playing left tackle, playing right tackle at Alabama. He is somebody that makes looking 330, 340 pounds, whatever he ended up at the combine, and he made it look slim. I mean, good God almighty. This dude is just absolutely not even he is jacked, but he just does not look like a 340-pound offensive lineman. And he moves so well for that size, too. I think that Charles Cross is a better pass protector than Evan Neal. But Evan Neal brings you, they both bring you a little bit of versatility, left side or right side. The New York Giants, I don't know if they're going to play Andrew Thomas at the left or Evan Neal at the left. I know they did pick Andrew Thomas higher, but Evan Neal was definitely more highly regarded coming out. I don't know. I don't know what side they're going to play him on. But regardless, man, this has been a good draft for the New York Giants. Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal. I know Giants fans, I saw some that were concerned that they were going to take Kyle Hamilton. If there's one thing that I can say negatively about the Giants draft so far, it's that they didn't get one of those corners. And that if they do trade James Bradbury, their secondary looks a little bit, at least their corners, I think they do have some safety depth. Adoree Jackson's never healthy. He's good when he's on the field, but he's never on the field. And they don't have too much depth behind that. I know they drafted Aaron Robinson last year. He didn't do a whole lot this year to really inspire me to think that it's going to be a great long-term pick. Not he did badly, but he just didn't inspire confidence necessarily. And so missing out on Gardner and Stingley in a draft with absolutely two generational type cornerbacks, it is a bit of a miss. But you got the best player in this draft class, the best edge rusher, and what some people call maybe the best offensive tackle. How can you not be happy about that? I mean, except for the fact that you still have Daniel Jones at quarterback and your receivers are all fine, but you don't really have a true number one. I thought Golladay might be when he got there, but man, he had trouble staying on the field. And when he was on the field, it wasn't very good. Maybe he gets better in year two, or maybe he's just one of those guys that when he gets paid for whatever reason, his play falls off a little bit. Sometimes the injuries happen. It's unfortunate, but it's a part of the NFL. Does Atlanta make this pick at number 8? And if they do, any chance they go quarterback? They can get any quarterback they want. Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett. Those are horrible options, but they can take them. They desperately need receivers. Calvin Ridley suspended for the whole season for gambling. Okay. So they are making the pick. The pick is in. They did not trade it. I think if this pick is not a receiver, you definitely hear about Deebo Samuel being traded to the New York Jets. I think the Niners have their eyes on one particular receiver, and if he's not there, they don't trade Deebo, which is a stupid way to operate regarding an all-pro wideout. Okay, I thought a trade happened. They were just recapping the whole Matt Ryan saga. Which, good on the Falcons for... I've been on the Matt Ryan is underrated thing for quite some time, but even I recognize that it was time for the Falcons to move off of Matt Ryan. I think last year was the year where I looked at it and I said, the Falcons were so much worse than their record last year, it was ridiculous. They could have been a 3-14 team. They could have had the first overall pick in the draft, and no one would have been like, that's weird. They just weren't very good. They just weren't. All right, Roger, tell us who the pick is. Tom Brady. Oh, there's someone in the division. I'm like, the Falcons definitely didn't get Tom Brady. I didn't take that long of a nap today. Can you please take Jermaine Johnson? Just take that away from the Jets right now. Please. Take Jermaine Johnson. Take Trevor Penning, maybe. That would be great. Drake London. Drake? Wow, okay. Drake London, number 1 wide receiver off the board. I thought it was going to be Jameson. I'll take the L. Wow, Drake London. Atlanta Falcons. Let's go ahead and grade this pick. Might be surprising, maybe. Maybe not. Teams have made good picks today. What can I say? I'm not going to become a hard ass just for the sake of it. If I like the pick, I'm going to tell you that I like the pick. And the Atlanta Falcons, guess what? They really needed receiver help. They really did. They have a guy, Olamide Zaccheaus, or Zaccheaus, I can't remember. But behind that, I mean, I think Auden Tate is actually a pretty good depth piece. When you're starting your conversation at receiver with, I think Auden Tate is a pretty good depth piece, you need to take a receiver in round 1. And I'm glad that the Falcons did that. And I'm glad, again, I'll say it. If I said it once, I've said it a billion times. I'm glad they didn't reach on a quarterback. Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, I just don't think any of those guys are worth taking this high. I just don't think they are. I would have loved for a quarterback. I'm a Sam Howell guy. What can I say? But he's not going this early. He might go late round 1. He's not going early round 1. Actually, I need to watch what I say because the Seattle Seahawks are next on the board, and they pick by dartboard. They could go Sam Howell. They could accidentally. That dartboard could result in them taking a franchise quarterback. I think that's how they got Russell Wilson. You think they actually took Bobby Wagner in the second round? No, dartboard, baby. Let's talk some about Drake London. He could be the next Brandon Marshall. He could be. I think that his size is very comparable. His run after catch is very comparable. The way that he uses his body is very comparable. Everybody's saying Mike Evans. I see more Brandon Marshall. I could be wrong. He could be. I don't think he's N'Keal Harry. Because whenever you have these guys where it's the contested catch ability guys, are they N'Keal Harry? Are they Denzel Mims? Are they one of these big receivers that can't separate and doesn't really have much usage? I hope not. I hope that the Atlanta Falcons get something out of Drake London. I don't know. Man, couldn't tell you. But, man, I like this pick, and I like this player a lot. Atlanta gets a receiver. They needed one. Marcus Mariota. He's not going to, well, he has thrown the ball to himself before. But what does this mean for the other receivers in the draft? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it at 10. I'm going to do 10 here, and then I'm going to kick my feet up a little bit once the Jets make their pick. I might also go not streaking down the highway, but if they trade for Deebo Samuel, you never know. Seattle Seahawks number 9. Is this a quarterback? Is this Can you pick Jermaine Johnson and just get that out of the way so we don't do it? Please? That's all I want. Charles Cross would be the smart pick here. How funny would it be if they took Kyle Hamilton? Another team that they probably had their eyes on Saucer Stingley. Not available. Washington, same thing. I had Stingley dropping to Washington. I feel like such an idiot for having that. It's just the way the ball bounces sometimes, though. It's just the way the ball bounces. Seattle at 9. I trying to predict who the Seahawks take is like, I don't even know if there's a good analogy for it. It's just really damn tough. It's really tough. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Are they going to make this pick? Are they going to trade this pick? There haven't been any trades yet. That's interesting. Usually you have some movement by this point. Maybe I'm full of crap. I don't know. Okay, the draft's been moving pretty quickly, so it's Seattle. Go ahead and make your pick. If they take Desmond Ritter here, because there's been some rumors that they might do that. There's been some rumors they go Ritter at 9 or Corral at 9. They really like him. I could see Seattle going receiver because why the hell not? Pete Carroll could go running back here. In a class with no first round. Well, I don't think Breece Hall's going to go round 1, but I think maybe he should. The pick is in, so they're not trading it. We'll see. We'll see. Seattle number 9. If I had to guess, and this isn't just me being a homer. I had this as the prediction before we got started. Jermaine Johnson, Florida State. I wrote on my hand. because I guess I'm not adult enough to be around markers. Good to know. Are we going to make this pick or not? Seattle's always a fascinating pick, because again, they pick by dartboard. Who picks Jordan Brooks round 1? Who picks Rashad Penny round 1? And who in the hell takes LJ Collier round 1? No one who knows what they're doing. That I'll tell you. Man. Seahawks. Let's. I think I'm going to come on. You can't come on with that graphic with the trade that happened 2 months ago. Come on. I was like, the Broncos traded it. And then I made that was the Russell Wilson trade. Man, I mean, I know Russell Wilson is entering his 11th year in the league. They got 2 first rounds, 2 seconds, a 5th. Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, and Drew Lock, but that doesn't feel like enough. Especially when taking Drew Lock off the hands of Denver? Nah, man, that should be worth another second-round pick. That dude is awful. Especially if you're planning on handing him the keys. I can't imagine. I had more reason to hand Sam Darnold the keys in Carolina than they do Drew Lock in Seattle. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm stupid. But I think what I'm going to do after these top 10 picks is I'm going to charge the battery, do all of that stuff, and then once the first round is over, I'm going to do a recap show. So that way, I've had a little bit of time to marinate on all the picks, which ones I liked, which ones I didn't. All right, Seattle. The Seahawks made the... Why is everybody doing the responsible thing today? I mean, Charles Cross is off the board at number 9. This is... I don't know if I've ever given a Seahawks pick this before. Ever. This is uncharted territory. I didn't think this was a thing that could happen. I didn't think I'd live to see the day. The dartboard made the right choice. Charles Cross, offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. My number 6 player on my big board. Number 2 offensive tackle in this class. I think they get a better offensive tackle than the Giants did with Evan Neal. Now, I would love to sit and talk about this pick, but there's a very real chance that the Jets trade for Deebo Samuel with this very pick. So I need to be a little more attentive to the clock going down and my TV just not letting me unmute. There we go. Let me take a look at who I have on my big board. The top players remaining. Okay, so my number 1 player left on the board is who I think the Jets are going to go with here. That's Ohio State wide receiver Garrett Wilson at number 7. Then you have Purdue edge rusher George Karlaftis, number 8. Tyler Linderbaum, interior offensive lineman out of Iowa at number 9. Number 10, North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell. And number 11, Michigan safety Daxton Hill. A lot of those guys, the last 3 guys I mentioned, I don't expect to hear their names for quite a while. I think Linderbaum goes late round 1. Hill goes late round 1, early round 2. And I don't think we hear Howell's name till early round 2, maybe even later than that. So I'm not expecting to hear names. Now, the New York Jets need to take receiver here. If they take Jermaine Johnson, I'm going to flip. They need to take a receiver. They went with their corner. That's nice. We go with the Revis for the 2020s. I'm cool with that. I like Ahmad Gardner. Do I need to get the sauce back out to prove to you that I like that pick? I know we didn't get Kayvon. But you know what? Sauce was the only guy on the board that I would have been like, you know what? We didn't pick Kayvon. I like Sauce. Sauce is a good pick. And they made it. Can we make 2 good picks? Can we trade for Deebo Samuel? God. Why am I expecting us to actually trade for Deebo Samuel? If a 49ers logo pops up on the screen, I'm going to go sprinting around this room. I'm going to sprint like a madman if that's what they do. If I see a 49ers logo on that screen, I'm going to sprint. Please make this trade. I would love to make this. Okay, they're doing the Jamal Adams. So essentially you have Jamal Adams for Elijah Vera Tucker. Okay, the pick is in, so it's not Debo. Maybe they could trade Debo tomorrow. Just please be Garrett Wilson, please. Hell, I don't want Jameson Williams here necessarily, but I just want a receiver, man. Please use a first-round pick on a receiver. You know the last time the Jets used a first-round pick on a receiver was Santana Moss. I was 8. Sorry, actually, I might have been 7. Yeah, I think I was 7. That was the 2002 draft, right? I'm pretty sure that was the 2002 draft. Can we unmute the TV? Thank you. Let me just, make sure that I'm getting my info right here. No. Santana Moss was not 02. So it was 03. Was it 01? Hold on, I gotta look up Santana Moss by name. I'm sorry, but I have to know. 2001. I was 6. I'm 27 now. It's been 21 damn years since the Jets have taken a receiver in the first round of the draft. They've taken a tight end, but never a receiver. They did take Dustin Keller. Can we maybe get this guy? Can we get this guy in the building? Can we? If this is Jermaine Johnson, I'm going to be so angry. Give me Garrett Wilson, please. Give me Garrett Wilson. Give me Garrett Wilson. Yes! 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 We got the Wilson to Wilson connection. Nobody's stopping us. Everybody's stopping us. But I still like to pick a considerable amount. This guy was my favorite receiver in this draft. Favorite receiver. The Bills have Stephon Diggs, and guess what? The New York Jets have Stephon Diggs now too. I love this pick. Garrett Wilson is going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Oh my gosh. They did it. They actually took receiver in the first round. They actually did it. They picked him. They did it. I'm in shock. The Jets picked 2 players that I really liked. Yes. As if I needed to say anything. I am stunned. I did not expect that. Most of the time the New York Jets are on the clock, I expect hopelessness, disaster, and despair. And I got 2 players that I love at positions we actually need. Who are these guys? Who are you, and what have you done with the New York Jets? My God. Wilson to Wilson, baby. I love it. I love it. This is the pick. Oh, man. This is the second best pick of the day. I think the pick of the day. Oh, there's a trade. The Commanders have traded with the Saints. Oh, I'm staying on for one more pick. I'm doing this for you, Andrew. One more pick. I gotta let him know. Who are the Saints trading up to get? Are they coming for a quarterback? Because the Commanders, I got to imagine, they wanted either London or Wilson. Maybe they weren't as high on Jameson Williams. Their corners were off the board. Maybe they don't want Kyle Hamilton. If the Saints are coming up for Hamilton, ugh. And I don't mean ick as in like Icky Ekwonu. I mean like actual ick. It's not in the offensive tackles because I expected either Neal or Cross to fall, and neither of them did. Is this Pickett? Is this Willis? Is it Jameson Williams? Ooh. I hope it's Jameson Williams. I mean, I hope it's Olave. I would love, but I don't think they'd trade up for Olave. Unless they love Olave or they love Berks. I can see them loving Jameson Williams. If they trade up for Trevor Penning, ooh, please. I really hope that's not the case. I don't think getting rid of Cesar Ruiz is enough of a need to trade up for Zion Johnson. Saints fans really don't like him, though. Oh, my gosh. I'm still in awe. Garrett Wilson. I cannot believe the New York Jets just picked the best receiver in this draft. I cannot believe that the New York Jets just traded for, or they just picked the best receiver in this draft. I cannot believe it. I'm in awe. I kept hearing Jermaine Johnson. They were in love with Jermaine Johnson. They were in love with Trevor Penning. I think I just made that up. But they got two players. New York, I mean, I actually think that the Giants got my best player in the draft class, but I think the Jets had the better draft for the simple reason of the Jets had to get a receiver in this draft class. They could, like, I wanted an edge rusher because why? I mean, I really hope they take Nick Benito on day 2 now. Like, now that they've picked a cornerback, I hope that day 2 consists of something like Nick Benito and either Daxton Hill or Jalen Petrie. One of those guys. But you can make it work. In this draft class, it's a deep edge class. I would even be fine with Ojabo. If he makes it past round 1, sit him for a year because, you know, he's got to repair his Achilles. But I think he'd be worth it because that's somebody I had in the top 10 before his injury. It would be worth it for me. If Karlaftis falls out of round 1, which I think the entire NFL would be ridiculously stupid for letting that happen, he wouldn't go 33 or 34 without a trade because the Jaguars and Lions both just took edge rushers with their first 2 picks. So they wouldn't be saying, what the hell is this? Get this off my screen. What is this? Shrek is love? Shrek is life? Ugh. What is this animation? Who did this? $20-12 degrees, the one extra degree makes the difference? What does that mean? What is it? I know it's hot in New Orleans. What does that mean? What does that mean? All right, who is this pick? Who is it? Reveal yourself. Yeah, Mel, it is a little high for Trevor Penning. If it's just Trevor Penning, that's bad. I wouldn't have liked that pick if they stayed in their spot. Do they still have their pick from earlier? What did they give up? I have to know what they gave up. This has to be Jameson Williams, right? I'm going to go ahead and get the Jameson slide ready. This has to be Jameson, right? There's no way this isn't Jameson Williams. Right? Right? God, I was really just going to do the top 10, but then this trade happened, like, right as I was about to be like, and I'll be back later tonight to do the recap of the first round. Who are all these people? Is that Tony Gonzalez? Why do they have Tony Gonzalez out there? He never played for the Saints. Is that Austin Eckler? God, Roger Goodell can't read good, can he? Yeah, Roger Goodell just announced, hey, Amazon Prime Video is going to be doing the Thursday night games. And all you hear is just one guy. Boo! Tony Gonzalez is announcing this. Oh, this is bad. No, it's got to be that guy. It's got to be the other guy, right? You can't have Tony Gonzalez announce the pick for the damn Saints. You can't do that. All right, can we get past the whole Amazon plug thing? Yes, we get it. Austin Eckler is there. I see him. How funny would it be if they had him announce the Chargers were taking a running back? All right, come on. Can we just, like, make the damn pick? I get it. Thursday Night Football is going to be on Amazon. We understand. What is Austin Eckler doing there now? He's not on the Saints. It'd be one thing if he was on Washington and he was supposed to announce the pick for Washington, but then they traded their pick. Oh, Chargers Chiefs is the first Thursday night game? I mean, that's a great Thursday night game. I can't wait to watch it 4 months from now. I'll care about it then. Can we have the draft now, please? Come on, let's just announce the damn pick. Hey, it's the sound we've been waiting for 10 years. Jameson Williams, right? Come on. They traded up for Olave. And hey, I like that pick. I thought they were going to go Olave, but I'm just surprised that they felt like they had to move up for him. Chris Olave, hey, back-to-back Ohio State receivers, and you can make a case that Olave was the best one. I would disagree with that case tremendously, but you can make that case. Chris Olave, a fantastic route runner. He's so good. I actually think the best receiver from Ohio State last year was Jackson Smith and Jigba, and if he was in this class, he would be far and away. We have another trade. Vikings trade to the Lions. Oh, I'm sorry, camera battery. We're gonna roll until you're dead, because the Lions just traded 20 picks up. I spoke it into existence when I said there weren't any damn trades. But Olave to the Saints, that's a good pick. It's a good pick. I like it a lot. I'm surprised it's not Jameson though. I'm surprised this wasn't Jameson. Surprised it wasn't Jameson, because there were so many people talking about how Jameson Williams was the clear top receiver in this class. I have to see let me see what they traded to move up before I give my grade. What did they give up? They sent 1698 and 120. So that's really not bad. They didn't give up their other first-round pick. They got Olave. I am going to, because I'm higher on Olave than I was Jameson Williams, so I am going to go, it's not quite an A+, it's not quite an A, but I will give this an A-. I do think this is a very solid pick, and it addresses a big need. Now, Detroit might have just traded up for a quarterback. The pick's in. Detroit wastes... Dan Campbell, I love you, baby, because you waste no damn time. You know who you want, and you get that car to the podium. If they trade up 20, this has to be a quarterback. This has to be a quarterback. There's no way it isn't. You not trade up 20 spots for Kyle Hamilton. You just didn't do it. You didn't trade up 20 spots to take Trent McDuffie. It didn't happen. You didn't trade 20 spots to get Jameson Williams. I highly doubt that. And Kenny Pickett's family looks miserable right now, so I'm going to guess that it is this guy. And I might be giving another very low grade if that's the case. I do not think it is a defensive tackle. They did not trade up 20 spots to take Jordan Davis. They did not. Somebody is. It's Malik Willis, isn't it? It's Malik Willis. It's got to be Malik Willis. I mean, if it's not Sam Howell, it's going to be a low grade. And they probably gave up a first-round pick. Did they give up a first-round pick next year? You moved up 20 spots. That's pretty rich. You give up a first-round pick next year. Newsflash, you're still the Lions. You're probably going to suck. That's going to be a high pick. Like, I know the Vikings were definitely looking to move down because those corners were gone. And they could take McDuffie at 12. I think that's early for McDuffie, though. And let me say this right here, right now. I'm glad Kyle Hamilton hasn't gone yet. Because I did not think that he was a top 10 type of pick. Any other team that takes Kyle Hamilton, I'll be much more of a fan of because it's not this early. I now think that the Kyle Hamilton sweepstakes, it's open for business. It is open for business. This is going to be Malik Willis, isn't it? It's got to be. You don't move up 20 spots for, unless you're the Falcons moving up to get Julio Jones. And that was Julio Jones. Those type of receivers, one, there's no Julio. Okay, so they gave up. Lions get 12th and 46th. What are the Vikings doing? What are the Vikings doing? No, that's not a nice haul. You lost 20 spots. What are the Vikings doing? That is not a good. You gave up a second. What? What are the Vikings doing? This might be one where both teams take an L if the Lions straight up to get a quarterback. They moved up 20 spots for Jameson Williams? Since this, the Commanders trade is whatever, but let me start off, I think this is my biggest takeaway. Vikings, what are you doing? What? What? I don't understand what you're doing, Minnesota. I do not get it. But then we go to the Lions. Let's go to the Lions here. If they had given up more, I would have been considerably harsher. But I am going to go with, because they did not, they gave up 32 and 34, I'm going to be a little bit harsher then. Just a little bit. I'm going C+ for this Lions pick. You move up 20 spots for a receiver that's not going to be available week 1. You gotta be kidding me. There's another trade. There's another trade. 3 straight picks. 3 straight trades. Yeah, this battery's not going to last that long. So you know what? I'm signing off for now, but I will be back later tonight. We're going to talk about the first round in its entirety with a little bit more perspective, knowing what happened with each pick, where some of these trades led to, if they led to more moves. Crazy night. Crazy night. But you know what? I like what the Jets have done, and that's all that matters to me. No, it's not. I love seeing what the other teams do. And I can't wait to see what happens, and I'll talk about it more later